answer. What? Okay, so where everyone's...
Okay, I'm going to the back.
Yeah.
How about that, yes?
Oh, there's somebody in the front. Instead of each door,
There's somebody in front?
Yeah.
You know what?
Jamie and a bunch of other people. Yeah, come on, wait. Wait, so, no, we didn't start yet. So Howard is going to open it up.
There's someone in the front.
Okay, great. Okay, so there's more people coming. Okay.
Wonderful. Yes. Well, then we got a lot of flags to get out.
We're live? Barry, I understand we're live. Very good. Chag Sameach to everyone. We are going to begin very shortly. I know it's after 7 p.m. Thank you for your patience and for your understanding. There are additional Bethomniks that are entering the sanctuary right now. And we are thrilled to have those who are with us in person. In addition to our congregants, we have many of our B'nai B'not Mitzvah families for the year 5782 who are with us here this evening. And we've got flags as well. So we're going to have a good time. And again, thank you for being here. I'm going. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
We've gone live.
We don't need the prayer box, no?
No.
All right, please join with us in welcoming everyone to our Simchat Torah service with Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Put your hands together. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. 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 Heveinu Shalom Shalom Shalom. Heveinu Shalom 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 Aleichem. 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 Heveinu 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 Shalom 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 Aleichem. Hey.
So this is a festival, this is a Chag, and so we welcome the Chag with the lighting of Shabbat candles, and with the lighting of festival candles, with holiday candles. And so it's my pleasure to call forward the Zuckers to light our candles for us. With as many young Zuckers as they would like. Just saying. Ugh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kitshonu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lechad likner shel yom tov.
Thank you to the family Zucker for a lighting of our festival candles. Chag Sameach and Moadim L'Simcha to all of our fellow Bethamniks, hopefully many who are with us on live stream as well. We're thrilled to have you with us at what is admittedly a modified Erev Simchat Torah service this evening. So before we go ahead, I want to tell girls and boys, I want to tell you something. You've got to lean forward because this is an unbelievable story that I have to share with you. I want you to hear what I'm going to say. 22 days ago, in the Jewish calendar, 22 days ago, we began 5,782, our Jewish New Year, with Rosh Hashanah, right? On Rosh Hashanah, what do we hear? The blowing of the shofar, right? That is the command. That's the command, to listen to the blowing of the shofar. 10 days later, of course, on the 10th day of Tishrei, on Yom Kippur, many of us are obligated to fast. And of course, at the same time, we also need to be able to forgive others inasmuch as, please God, they forgive us for any of the mistakes and for any of the errors that we might have made. And 5 days later, on the 15th of Tishrei, we begin the third of our three pilgrim festivals known as Sukkot, right? Correct? What did we do? We took the lulav and the etrog, shaking Jews, right? So from shaking Jews, tonight we're dancing Jews. We are people who both shake and who dance as well. And of course, our beautiful sukkah at the back as well. We said many of us were in the sukkah too, for that matter. And now we come to the final festival in this month of Tishrei. Tonight and tomorrow in our non-Orthodox, in our Reform Jewish calendar. Tonight begins the 22nd day, Simchat Torah. So what's the mitzvah? What is the command, girls and boys, or mums and dads, on this festival? There isn't. There's no mitzvah. What we do instead is we open the ark at a certain point, and ordinarily, in non-COVID times, we lovingly wed ourselves. We are married to the Torah. And in marrying the Torah, we dance with the Torah around the sanctuary. We're told 7 times. Tonight, it's going to be different for obvious reasons. But girls and boys, I want you to know that talking about dancing, what's the way in which Jews dance? I mean, can you imagine dancing to the horror in a square dance? What is it called? Square dancing, is that right? Yeah. Square dancing. How can you square dance the horror? I mean, that's impossible, right? What do we do instead? The horror is, we sing the horror in what kind of? In a circular dance. Girls and boys, Betham, to be Jewish is to dance in a circle, a never-ending circle. And the reason why, if you come to think of it, I mean, if you know your shapes very well, what's the beauty of a circle? Everyone is, Ruthie, in relation to everyone else, everyone is, that's it. Everyone's together. Everyone is equal. Nobody is less or more important than another. We see one another as well in a circle. That's what's so beautiful. And in addition to that, by the way, dancing in a circle reminds us of the circularity, the continuity of the Torah. There's no beginning and there's no end. And please God, we're going to demonstrate that this evening. So welcome to our Erev Simchat Torah service this evening. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to call upon Rabbi Thornburg for something really special. Thank you, Rabbi T.
It's wonderful to see all of you here tonight. Welcome. So we, most years, unroll the entire Torah around the sanctuary. And one of the challenges for all of us who do the planning is, are we going to have enough people to hold it up all the way? But we knew that tonight, in addition to that challenge, we were also going to have to ask people to be close to each other potentially. And since we don't want to do that right now, we're going to do something a little different, because usually when we unroll the entire Torah into that circle that Rabbi Lieb was talking about, we have students who are becoming bar and bat mitzvah that Jewish year stand next to their Torah portion in the Torah. So if we're going to unroll it from the beginning, somebody who has a Parsha, a Sedra, a Torah portion from the book of Breshit, of Genesis, would be sort of near the place that the Torah opens up first. And then as we went around, we'd see the calendar year of everybody moving through your Torah portions. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want you to imagine a Torah. We are going to unroll this Torah mentally. And later, we're actually going to read from the very end and then the very beginning. But we're going to do it from up there. I am standing on the very first verse of the very first chapter of the book of Genesis. Ta-da! All right. I'm going to keep walking. And as I walk, I'm moving from this night of Simchat Torah to the 23rd of October, when Danny Bragg is going to become a bat mitzvah. Danny, I'm going to invite you and your family, whoever's come with you tonight, to stand here on Parshat Vayera. And I want to tell you a little something about your Torah portion, because one of the other things that's really cool about this night is that it's a time for people who are becoming bar and bat mitzvah to stop and think about, wait a minute, what is my parsha about? And I don't mean like so you can sit down and write a Devar Torah tomorrow, but because there's a reason you have this Torah portion. There's some kind of meaning in it that's made for you, Danny. And I want to this is not necessarily the thing. You have to figure out what the thing is, but I'm going to share with you a little something from your parsha, which is that your parsha talks about hospitality. It has Abraham showing us as Jews what it means to be good hosts and to welcome others. So I hope that you will have a life of welcoming others and having them be part of your life. And we're going to keep going. You stay there. We're going to keep going. We're going. We are in a new book now. Asher Litt is going to become bar mitzvah in, Asher Litt is going to become bar mitzvah on the 5th of February, and his parsha is Parshat Truma. Asher, you and your dad should come stand on Parshat Truma. Parshat Truma, Asher, is about making the spaces around us holy. Not all the spaces, right? Like the bathroom doesn't have to be holy, the garbage dump doesn't have to be holy, but if we want to make a space where we want to have a special experience, we want to create that holy space. And this part of the Torah talks about the ways that we do that as Jews. Moving along, we have Zachary Brusilowski. You're sitting right next to it. Zach is sitting right next to Parshat Tazria. And Parshat Tazria, as Zach could tell you, is about how we help people in our community move from illness to healing and be able to re-enter regular life, something that I think a lot of people are maybe thinking about right now. And you stay here at Parshat Tazria, okay, Zach? All right, and we're going to keep going around the Torah until we get to Max Hartman, who in May 21st of 2022 is going to read Parshat Bahar. And he can bring as many members of his family over here as he wants. Parshat Bahar, Max, is about how we make a fair society for everyone, even those who are down on their luck. Now, I'm telling you that, but you know that because we've been studying it. I'm also sharing it so others know what your Parsha is about. All right, thank you, Hartmans. And then we move along. Dara Chartok on June the 4th, my sister's birthday. Dara, you want to come stand with your family over here? We are at the very beginning of the book of Numbers, Parshat Bamidbar. Bamidbar means in the wilderness, and it's a whole telling of the Israelites and their wandering. It makes me think about like life as a kind of journey, like a wandering of our own. So while we can read about the Israelites wandering, we each also have our own kind of wandering through which we learn things and grow and explore. And so I want you to think about that in relationship to your bat mitzvah. Okay, we're going to keep going around the year. And we are at the 11th of June, Miller Posnan. If you could bring your dad over here. As you know, this is a Parshat Naso, that's all about the census. So the Israelites are counted, and it makes us ask the question, what does it mean to count? What does it mean to count others? And what does it mean to feel like you count and you matter? So I want you to think about that as your bar mitzvah approaches. Stick around. Okay, then Shiloh Linkow, I'm going to go all the way through almost to the end of Deuteronomy. Not quite, but almost. Shiloh, bring your family over here. Shiloh Linkow's bar mitzvah is September 17th, 2022. That is very recently, was the 1 year before, right? Parshat Ki Tavo is part of Moses' speech at the end of his life when he wants to tell the Israelites all the things that they need to know and remember after he dies. What's really important about Moses' speech is that he doesn't want the people to forget where they came from. He doesn't want them to forget their history, because he knows that if they don't know and appreciate who and where they come from and all the stories of their past, they won't be able to build a successful future. Now, just so you know, very soon after Shiloh's bar mitzvah, we're going to get to the end of Deuteronomy, and we're going to get back to Genesis. And not too far along there, Sydney and Ani Zucker are becoming Benot Mitzvah. But that will be 5783. So this is all of our 5782 who were able to join us tonight, and we're so happy to have you. Now, I would love to be able to say, hey everybody, grab a Torah, and when it gets heavy, hand it off to somebody else, let's all dance around. We can't do that tonight. But what we can do is we can give each of these families a Torah to carry. And we're gonna ask you to do one rotation, one procession around, and you'll know you're done when you get back to your sticker. Okay, so we're gonna call you up one at a time to come get a Torah. Once you're called up, if you could return to the spot until we're all ready to start. Make sense? Okay, Rabbi Lieb, shall we call up Danny Brogg?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
על שלושה
Lit family.
על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על כל הדברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם
Zach Brusilowski.
על כתורו, כי על כבודו, ועל גמלות חסדים, על חתורה ועל כבודה ועל גמלות חסדים, על שלושה דברים.
Max Hartman.
על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על חתורה ועל כבודה ועל גמלות חסדים.
Dara Chartok.
ועל כבודה ועל גמלות חסדים. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה. לא יסגוי על גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עד מלחמה.
And so we process with the Torah. Those of you in the seats, you're not going to join the dance in the circle, but you're going to be within the circle. And we need the flags, and we need the singing, and we need your energy. So let's join together as we process with the Torah.
כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. 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 ברוך שנה טוב, תורה לעמו, תורה לעמו ישראל. ברוך שנה טוב, תורה לעמו ישראל. בקדושתו כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. 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 חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה ונשמחה. חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה ונשמחה. חווה נרננה, חווה נרננה, חווה נרננה ונשמחה. חווה נרננה, חווה נרננה, חווה נרננה ונשמחה. אורחים, אורחים בלב שמח, אורחים בלב שמח, אורחים בלב שמח, אורחים בלב שמח, אורחים, אורחים בלב שמח. חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה ונשמחה. חווה נגילה, חווה נגילה, חווה Chava, Nagila vein Yismacha, Chava neranana, Chava neranana, Chava neranana vein Yismacha, Chava neranana, Chava neranana, Chava neranana vein Yismacha. Urakim, Urakim, Balak Sameach, Urakim, Balak Sameach, Urakim, Balak Sameach, Urakim, Balak Sameach, Urakim, Urakim, Balak Sameach.
You may be seated. Thank you, upcoming Bar and Bat Mitzvah students. We're so proud of you and all the learning that you've done. We're also proud to be part of your community and to be able to celebrate this milestone in your life with each of you. It's really special that you've chosen to do this with us here at Beth Am, and it means a lot to us. So thank you for making that choice, and thank you for making the choice to be here tonight as we celebrate the Torah and celebrate your place within the story of the Jewish people.
So girls and boys, moms and dads, we're rolling all the way to the very end of the Torah. And remember what we said, that in terms of the circularity of Jewish life, right? There is, don't forget, there is no end, there is no beginning to Jewish learning. And just because your rabbis and your cantor are, for want of a better term, professional Jews, that doesn't mean to say that we don't have an obligation to continue learning, just like you do, this beautiful, noble, rich, magnificent religious heritage that we have, that we refer to as Yahadut, as Judaism. So, don't forget, there is no indication in the Talmud, there's no indication in the Tanakh, in the Bible, or in the Talmud about Simchat Torah. It is a rabbinic invention, and it's a Manish Tana. What makes this festival different to all other Chagim, different to all other festivals? The fact that there is nothing, girls and boys, there is nothing more precious than Torah, And so this is the festival when we dedicate ourselves once again to a life of Torah. Within the aspect of being, circular Jews, we have two readings tonight, right? The first one is from the very end of the Torah, from Deuteronomy chapter 34. I'm very grateful to have the privilege of concluding our annual reading here at Beth Am from the Torah, and then no sooner have I concluded with the last couple of words, right here at the bottom, you'll see it soon, from the 12th verse, the last verse of the last chapter of the last book.
Rabbi Lee, I want everybody to listen and see if they can hear what that last word is. Okay,
yeah,
but don't tell him. I mean, no, listen when he's
absolutely, we're going to do that, sure. And from the last word, well, we're going to go back to the very first word of the first verse in the first chapter of the first book, but not before saying an incredible 3-word declaration of faith at the end of our reading. So I believe, Rabbi and Cantor, we are inviting the entire congregation.
We'd like to invite everybody to bless the Torah. As you know, if you are not bar bat mitzvah, you need a grown-up with you to do this. It's one of those things that requires somebody of age. But since we have plenty of people of age who are here, we'd like to invite the congregation to rise as we join together in the blessing for the reading of Torah. Achat, shtayim, shalosh. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayamot Sham Moshe Eved Adonai be'eretz Moav al pi Adonai vayikol oto b'gai be'eretz Moav mu beit Peor v'lo yada ish et kfurato ad hayom hazeh u'Moshe ben me'ah ve'esrim shana v'moto lo chata eno v'lo nasleko vayikhu bnei Yisrael et Moshe ve'arbot Moav 30 yom ve'yibu yemei bechi evel Moshe Yehoshua ben Nun malei ruach chokmah כי שמח משה את ידיו עליו וישמעו אליו בני ישראל ויעשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה אשר אדוני פנים אל פנים לכל האותות והמופתים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים לפרעה לכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל
Yisrael. Chazak,
2-3
chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek.
Become, as a community of faith and of fellowship, may we be strong and may we strengthen one another throughout 5,782.
בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו, וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. ויאמר אלוהים ויהי אור ויהי אור. ויקרא אלוהים את האור כטוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך. ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום ולחושך קרא לילה. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום אחד. ויאמר אלוהים יהי רקיע בתוך המים, ויהי מבדיל בין מים למים. ויעש אלוהים את הרקיע ויבדל בין המים אשר מתחת לרקיע ובין המים אשר מעל הרקיע. ויהי כן. ויקרא אלוהים לרקיע שמיים, ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שני.
1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah. Yeah. Okay, so some of you had a very special role tonight. You got to carry a Torah with your family. Some of you got to be, the cheering section. So a couple of folks from the cheering section, we're going to invite them forward to help us bind and dress our 2 Sifrei Torah. So Arlene and, what? Yeah, I know. But Arlene and Larry and you said, and Jane and Bill, if you could come forward. And everyone, if you would remain standing. Now, Rabbi Lee, are you really going to do this?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to lift the Torah from underneath. And if you did not notice, type in the Torah right here. In fact, there's no words. Okay? And this entire Torah is in one arm. So we'll see how it goes. Everybody, do
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. יקים הטוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב 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 ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
Yes. Thank you. All right.
No? No?
Yeah.
Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to them that will pass to you. All its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that will pass to you. And all its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. עץ חיים כי למה חזיקים בה בתומכך מאושר. עץ חיים כי למה חזיקים בה בתומכך מאושר. שלום, 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 שלום. And the loud is shalom, shalom.
Please join with Cantor and Mark Allinger.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה לייצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא עשנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא עשנו חלקנו ככם, וגורלנו ככל כמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך לכל הארץ ביום והיום חכו יהיה אדוני אחד ושמעו אחד.
Thank you. Arlene and Larry, Jane and Bull, thank you. Yasher kochachem. Please be seated. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Amanda Frances Burrows, Frank Burstein, Sam Dion, Bernice Jacobs, Marvin Ratner, Evelyn Silver, and Bernard Wyman, all of whom passed away during this past month of Shloshim. And as always, we call to mind the 6 million of our martyred brethren who perished in the Shoah, and all those who gave their lives and who continue to give their lives in defense of Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel, and of these United States. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. If you wish to find the Kaddish in the Siddur, in Mishkan Tefillah, in the pocket in front of your seat, Kaddish, page 294. We invite you please to rise at this time. Yit Gadal V'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah Amen. Bioma Divrach Yerute V'yamlich Malchute B'chaye Echon U'v'yom Echon U'v'chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'fisman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavorach Leolam Ulalme Ulamaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpo'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei D'Kudashah B'richu Leila min kol birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechemata Da'amiran Ba'olma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbamin Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and all Israel, to which we say Amen. And may the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and to that let us say Amen. Amen. We invite you to remain standing for Kiddush at this particular point. Thank you. But Rabbi and Cantor, before we continue with Kiddush, there's something I would like to mention, and our fellow Beth Omnics who are with us in the sanctuary this evening are the first to know about this. You might recall that Karen and Danny were given a very small Torah. Right? They were given us, we gave you the small Torah. And I told you, Danny, that, while every Torah, of course, is beloved and special, that's an extraordinarily important Torah, fellow Beth Omnics. It's one of our 3 Czech Holocaust scrolls from that famous collection. The reason why I'm mentioning this to you is because it is now officially confirmed. We're very grateful, Mr. President, on your behalf, that just yesterday afternoon, your predecessor, our immediate past President Mark Braverman, signed off on the Czech Holocaust Memorial Scroll permanent exhibit, which is going to be housed, literally and figuratively, in the V on the right-hand side, the smaller of the 2 walls, out here in the main lobby. On your behalf, we're delighted to welcome Jane and Bill, who are with us this evening, together with their good friends, Carol and Barry Stein. The 4 of them are spearheading this long-awaited project. We are very grateful, Jane and Bill, to you and to the Steins as well. I mention that because if you want to see, and Murray regarded it as a facsimile, if you want to see the facsimile of the display of what it's going to look like, the facsimile is out on a table in the front lobby, and you're welcome to see that at the end of our service. It's going to be remarkable, something truly remarkable, 3D, something we're looking very forward to. We wanted to do this for a long, long time. You are the first Bethamniks to know about this.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hakafel. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, ורוממנו בכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה, מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום שמיני כקצרת כזה, זמן שמחתנו מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיוונו בחרת ואותנו קידשת בכל חמים, ומודה בשמחה ובששון וקנחנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש ישראל והזמנים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שכחנו וקיימנו והגיענו
לזמן הזה.
On behalf of everyone, Chag Sameach. Enjoy.
Thank you, and thank you, Mark,
enjoying.
for bringing the copy of the facsimile. It's a beautiful design. Please take a look at it at your leisure. A couple of announcements before we close with a song. First of all, you can sit, because you've been standing like the whole time. This coming Sunday at 11:30, Blessing of the Pets. Everybody should bring your pets to come and be blessed on our front patio. If you have a child in the Mensch Lab, you can show up with the pet at 11:30. Mensch Lab will make its way out to enjoy the festivities. Bring your lizards, your fish, your ferrets, your rhinoceri. It's going to be great. And it is because, what Torah portion do you think we're on by next week? What do you think that we would be doing animals? Yes, sir. Noah's Ark, absolutely. 12 points. Goes over to the link house. All right, so we are having Parshat Noach is coming up. It's near the beginning of Genesis, and we know that we just started Genesis, and we're going to be blessing those pets. Please also mark your calendars for October 24th, when musical artist and composer Noah Aronson is going to be with our community. It's going to be wonderful, amazing. It's going to be a morning of the Mensch Lab, and it's going to end with a concert that will involve all of our students, and our whole congregation is welcome. I think that there's a treat for everybody up here when you're finished. So find the other rabbi, and you give you a Simchat Torah treat. Let's conclude with the singing of Am Yisrael Chai. Oh yeah, if you want to keep your flags, that's great. And if you don't, you can put it on the table. Thank you.
Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai. Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, Davinu Chai. Davinu Chai. Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai. Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai. Davinu Chai. Davinu Chai. While Rabbi Lee was giving out the sweet treats, can we do another Am Yisrael? Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Davinu Chai, Davinu Chai, Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai, Davinu Chai, Davinu Chai, Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai.
Mazel tov to all our 5782 B'nai Mitzvah families, and Chag Sameach Beth Am. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will have a Simchat Torah service during which we will have a Yizkor service as part of our worship. If you'd like to join us, you're certainly welcome.